You're watching this video because you want to know how to start a blog in 2022. You've come to the right place. My name is Zuli Rain and I make videos that are all about how to grow your blogging empire. One of my least favorite myths is this idea that if you're coming to blogging, if you want to start a blog in 2022, somehow you're too late. You've missed the gravy train. You're never going to be able to make a living by writing about what you love. And the fact is that that's not true. It's very possible to start a blog in 2022, and I'm going to show you exactly how. Here's my secret. This is what sets my video apart from all the other how to start a blog in 2022 videos. I'm not going to talk about WordPress. I'm not going to talk about Squarespace. I'm not going to tell you that you need to know SEO. No, I'm going to talk about a blogging platform called Medium. So why Medium? Why would I recommend this? It's because it's a mix of social media platform and blog. The crucial element of that fact is that you don't need to bring your own audience and you don't need to build your own audience. The audience is already there on Medium. You just have to tap into it. Here's what you don't need. You don't need to pay any money to get started. That's the first thing. Don't pay any money. The second, you don't need to know anything about SEO. Forget about SEO. You don't need to know anything about Google AdWords or CSS or HTML or Facebook or Pinterest or anything else. No, to start a blog in 2022 on Medium, all you need is one thing, a desire to write. That's it. That's all. Okay, let's get started. I'm gonna walk you through exactly how to start a blog in 2022 using Medium. We're gonna break this down into 3 phases. What you do at the start, how to get set up, how are you gonna keep going, and third, how you can start expanding beyond your initial success. And finally, as always, stay till the end if you wanna see the bloopers. Phase 1 is all about the setup. I want to walk you through exactly how to get started, so I'm going to show you how I would do it if I were trying to start a blog today in 2022. You're going to sign in with any kind of account. I use Gmail because it's super easy, and I have gone with the creatively named mediumtest2022@gmail.com. So this is what you're presented with. The first thing you should know about Medium is it's mostly a place for readers, not for writers. This is what makes it so great if you actually are a writer, because there's a huge population of readers waiting to discover your incredible stories, and it's not a crowded market at all right now. So as a writer, you're going to go through a slightly different process than you would if you were a reader. So the first thing you want to do is go to your profile and click Settings. You're going to give your name, you're going to add a short bio. Don't overthink the bio, just something that makes it personal to you. You can go as simple as 3 things you enjoy writing about. That's it. Just keep it super simple. If you want, you can add a place where readers can find you, like Instagram or Facebook or anywhere else you want to send them. Next, you're going to add a picture. Again, don't overthink it. A nice picture of you, maybe smiling. That's it. Don't worry about your about page for now. I would recommend changing your URL because that's going to be, the thing people type in to find you. So simple. Go back to the homepage and you're going to pick a couple topics to follow. I would recommend picking topics that you think you're going to write in, but don't worry about picking anything too specific right now. The nice thing about Medium is that you can write about anything, no matter what niche. You don't have to pick a niche right now, or at all if you don't want to. So you can start just by going with some of the recommended ones that they've got on the right here. Sure, I like technology. Follow. What else? I like cats, and I can see myself writing about cats. Let's follow cats. What about tea? I like tea, and follow. Done. I would recommend picking 3 to 5 to start. And the final part of step 1 is get excited. You just created your Medium profile, and that's probably gonna be the hardest part in all of phase 1. Okay, for step 2, you're gonna write your first post. A lot of people who are worrying about how to start a blog in 2022, they worry that they need like a backlog of ideas ready to go before they start writing. It can help if you have a couple of busy weeks ahead of you, but honestly, you should probably be writing about 1 blog post per week anyway. So don't worry about it too much. Write 1 blog post however you want. The nice thing about Medium is that it is really, really easy to write, okay? They are so bare bones. This is what I mean. You don't have to focus on SEO or formatting or marketing or anything. They take care of all that for you. All you have to do is write something. So I can just start writing about this. Write about literally anything you want. If you spend any amount of time on Medium, you'll notice that people are blogging about any topic under the sun, and you yourself should feel welcome to do the same. A quick note of a couple of formatting options on Medium. It's very, very simple, but they walk you through it all here. So if you want to change it to be a header or a subheader, you can click the big T or the little t. If you want to make a pull quote, There are two different options here. And let's say that you want to start a bulleted list. The formatting could not be simpler. Just do a dash and hit enter, and it will do it for you. And same with numbers. That's pretty much all you need to know about how to write on Medium. Now, I want to tell you this right now as you're starting. You probably won't get too many views on this first post, and that's fine. You're writing this for you, not for anybody else. Just write it just to hit that publish button and just get used to the feel of Medium. Think of this as practice. You're playing in a sandbox, you're just trying something out. You're not going to go viral. You're not going to get more than, like, you know, if your dad clicks on it, that's fine. This is just for you to get started. We'll get into the strategy of how to grow a little later. Step 3 of phase 1 in how to start a blog in 2022. So remember how I was saying Medium has its own way of showing your story to people? Well, I lied. There are actually 2 ways. They are called curation and publications. Publications are think of publications like niches, okay? So anybody can create a publication on Medium, anyone can run one, and basically they are collections of stories about a specific topic that get run by real people and published in real people. Let's check out Mind Cafe as a publication example. They have helpfully written our purpose here in big letters. Let's see what their purpose is. Mind Cafe is all about sharing ideas to uncover the secrets of a life well lived. Great. When you get a story accepted at a publication, people who follow that publication, even if they don't follow you, will still see that story. That's super powerful, and it means that you have an audience of people who are interested in the subject you're writing about right off the bat. Okay, on to step 2, curation/distribution. Distribution is a little hairier, and I would recommend you don't rely on it too much. Basically, what happens with distribution is this. When you publish a story on Medium, and a real human person or an algorithm Medium has put together to basically look at stories, it or they will look at the story and say, yeah, this meets our distribution requirements. And what that means is it's a high quality story, it's not clickbait, it's not spam, it adds something interesting to the conversation around that topic, and it's not full of ads. What is good is highly subjective, and I write stuff that's good all the time that Medium decides not to curate. Sometimes I write something that I think is garbage and they curate it. So it's subjective, which is why I don't recommend that you rely on it too much. However, curation is another way to get views. This is how that works. Remember at the start we followed those topics? So let's say that you write something in technology, and I don't follow you. Maybe I don't even follow the publication that you publish that story in, but I do follow technology. Your story gets distributed in the technology topic. What that means is that readers who follow the topic, even if they don't follow you, might still see that story. So again, another way to get views without you needing SEO or a following or anything, which is great if you're thinking about how to start a blog in 2022. You don't got to bring your own audience. I recommend you rely on publications because it's much easier to control whether you get in, which one you want to get into, and how you target those publications. We're going to get into how to learn which publications are worth getting into in the next step. All right, once you think you've got a firm grip on what distribution and publications are on Medium, let's move on to picking 3 target publications. So these are going to be the first few places that you start to submit your stories, and these are going to be the first things that actually get you some views, which is fantastic. I know we should all be doing it for the love of writing purely, but I like to get views, and I imagine you do. Because publications are run by people, they come and go all the time. Some are active, some are inactive, some are better run than others. It's all super, super fluid, and rather than telling you which ones you should go for, I'm gonna show you how you can decide the ones that you should pick. All right, let's dive in. So the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna go to your homepage. I want you to search for a topic that you think you're gonna enjoy writing in. So for example, let's say cats. I'm gonna pick the cats topic. A quick handy shortcut, medium.com/tag/ whatever the name of that topic is. Now you're gonna go to best, and you're gonna time slice to this month. There are 2 things that this page is gonna show you. First, it's gonna show you who's active, who's still publishing in the last month. There are more dead publications on Medium than you would think. Number 2, it's gonna show you who's engaged, who's got a readership that is actually engaging with these stories and pushing them up to the top of the list of the quote-unquote best stories of the month. So here I would scroll down and I would see that Rainbow Salad, Katniss, The Collector, another Katniss, Disney Streaming, Katniss. So if you're paying attention, you'll notice that one publication is coming up time and time again. Fantastic. Let's check that one out, Katniss. The third thing you're going to look for is whether they're open to submissions and whether they're kind of, welcoming and friendly to submissions. So a good publication that is good for submitting to will have a very important thing to look for, the submitting tab. You want publications that are going to make it easy to accept authors and writers. So you click submitting. or submission guides or how to write for us or whatever one of those. And you're gonna scroll down and figure out how to actually get added to a publication on Medium. Getting added to a publication on Medium is a two-step process. So first, that publication will have to accept you as a writer, and every publication has a slightly different way of doing things. They're not standard, it's a huge pain, but this is gonna be pretty straightforward for you to find out. So just look for the section that says like become a writer or how to be added as a writer. Some publications will do a Google form, others will go for like adding a comment or sending an email. This one you just have to add a comment or send an email. Fantastic. So you're gonna look for 3 publications that have those 3 characteristics. They are active, they are engaged, and they have an open and friendly, they're open to new writers, okay? So get your short list of 3 and start thinking about articles that you can write for them. On to step 5, writing more stuff. Okay. I want you to go back to your original list of topics that you thought you might be interested in writing. Pick 3 and write a story for each one. You're looking at me like I'm crazy and you're like, Julie, I know that I have to pick a niche in 2022 so I can be competitive. I mean, maybe even a micro niche. No, to start a blog in 2022, you don't need a niche if you're on Medium. That's the power of publications. Publications act as a niche for you. They guarantee that you're gonna find a group of readers who's interested in writing and reading about that topic, no matter what topic it is. This frees you up to write about whatever you want, which is fantastic. Pick 3 topics and do the exact same process that I just showed you for each of those topics. So for me, I might say, all right, I wanna write about cats, I'm gonna submit to Katniss. I wanna write about ways to live a happier life, I'm gonna submit to Mind Cafe. So you're gonna pick 3 topics and 3 publications, and you're gonna write a story for each one. As a note, over time, you probably will develop a niche, or maybe even kind of like a lane, which is what I like to call it. I write about all kinds of stuff on Medium, but I used to write about a lot more topics. Over time, I've learned that my audience prefers to hear about certain things from me, and there are certain things that I prefer to write in. You'll find what topics resonate with your audience the most, and you'll find which topics you personally prefer. The last part of step 5 is to check for something called auto-curation. You won't be able to find any documentation about auto-curation on Medium because nobody really admits that it exists, but it does, and I know how. So curation and distribution are the same thing, and although publications are great, if you get both publications and distribution, that's going to be even more powerful for getting you views on your blog early on, which is, we all want that. Certain publications have something called auto-curation, which means that everything they publish is going to be automatically distributed in a particular topic that Medium has decided that they're the experts in. So for example, I know for a fact that the publication Books Are Our Superpower, BAOS, gets auto-curated in Books because they are the place to write about books on Medium. The way you can tell if a publication has auto-curation is you submit to a publication. As soon as they accept an article, go to that article that they just accepted and click on Details on the stats page. There, under the title, you will be able to see Chosen for Further Distribution. That's your sign that that publication has auto-curation, which is a great sign for you. Step 6 in phase 1. Start building a community. The other great thing about having Medium as a place to start a blog in 2022 is that it's very social, way more social than trying to do one on like WordPress or Squarespace, because guess what? It's full of other people trying to do the exact same thing as you, and those people tend to be pretty cool. So you're gonna start wanting to build a community. I wouldn't call it a network because that feels very transactional to me, so I wanna call it a community instead. Here's how you do that. It's very simple. Read articles. If you like to write, I would bet my bottom dollar you like to read too. So just take advantage of all the articles on Medium and read the ones that catch your interest. 2, leave comments. Leave nice, thoughtful, long, short, medium length comments, on any article that you read and enjoy. Make sure that the author knows that you appreciate their work and you have some thoughts about what they had to share. People love getting comments that are, nice and lovely, and it's a great way to start building a community in a really authentic way. Number 3, or C in part 6 of phase 1, reply to your own comments. If somebody takes the time to leave you a comment, I want to see that you've been replying back to them. Let them know that you've seen their comment, you acknowledge what they have to say. If they disagree with you, say, yeah, thanks for reading. I love to hear, diverse viewpoints on this subject if you really do. And finally, follow people whose writing you enjoy. Do not do follow for follow. There are going to be a lot of people telling you to just follow for follow on Medium, and this is why I don't recommend that. While you will get some people who follow you back just because you followed them, those people are not going to engage with your content. You want readers who follow you because they want to hear what you have to say, not because of some weird obligation they have to follow you after you followed them in the first place. That's not how you grow on Medium. And, you know, it can actually get a little bit of bad will among writers if they see that you've been following and unfollowing just to increase your own follow number. Follow organically. When you see someone who's writing you want to stay up to date with, hit that follow button. Once you've started getting a grasp on how to build your community, move on to step 7, write once a week. There's a lot of debate around quality versus quantity, and I fall on the side of quality. Quality is always better. However, if you're like me, you have to get the reps in. I wrote 3 times a week, even 5 times a week, 8 times a week in some cases for a lot of my early blogging career. That helped me so much learn what did well, what didn't do well, what resonated with my audience, what I liked writing about, which publications were best, and so much more information. You can get that information in other ways, like just by analyzing or, you know, being really meticulous about reading and analyzing other people's work too. But for me, doing repetition was the fastest and easiest way to get that knowledge. That being said, I know you're busy, and I don't want you to commit to writing 2 or 3 times a week if you really can't do that. So I will say this, the minimum is you should be writing once per week. It doesn't have to be long. Articles on Medium vary from like 600 words all the way up to in the thousands. So as long as it's over a 3-minute read or about 600 words, you're gonna be fine. Frankly, if you wanna start a blog, if you're wondering how to start a blog in 2022 and you can't commit to writing 600 or 800 words a week, you maybe want to wait until you've got a little bit more time in your life, or you're ready to really prioritize blogging. Aim for 2 or 3 times a week if you can, but 1 is fine. You should also take this opportunity to pick different publications and different niches. Again, take this as an opportunity to play, to experiment, to analyze, to explore. What do you like? What works for you? Take this time to figure it out. And step 8 is more of a mantra than a step per se. Be consistent. Keep going for at least 2 months without changing your strategy. And if you think that you can't do that, then maybe blogging isn't for you. Blogging requires consistent effort without a huge amount of reward, especially at the start. Keep replying to comments and keep commenting on work that you enjoy. Slowly but surely, this will build your following and you will build an audience that will want to read what you have to say. Remember, they're already there. They're already on Medium. They just haven't found you yet. All you have to do is show up to them and they will follow you. Phase 2. Phase 2 is all about growth. You've already gotten started. You've nailed the basics. Now you're ready to go one step further and start analyzing, improving, growing, every other great word. This is also the phase where we're going to talk about money. With a regular blog, you really can only make money through like ad space or affiliate links or selling your own products. All of that is hard at the start. Medium is different. Medium is a royalty share system. So when I pay $5 a month to read unlimited stories on Medium, and I read your story, you get a portion of my $5 monthly membership fee. You see where this is going. The more people who read your stuff, the more Medium members specifically who read your stuff, the better off you're gonna be. The second way is through referrals. So again, let's say I'm not a Medium member, I read some of your articles and I'm like, this stuff is great, I wanna get more of this, but I'm hitting that paywall. What am I gonna do? Oh, I see at the bottom of your article, you've said that if I sign up to Medium using your special referral link, you'll earn half of my monthly membership fee going forward forever. And I get to read unlimited stories. Amazing. Click, boom. $2.18 for you forevermore. Those are the 2 different ways to monetize. However, you can only apply to the Medium Partner Program once you have 100 followers. So that is step 1 of phase 2. Get to 100 followers. After 2 months, if you've been writing consistently every week, I'd expect that you are close or you're heading in the right direction. If you're not there yet, that's fine. This phase 2 is also going to help you get to that point. Keep writing, keep commenting, keep replying to comments, keep building that audience. Once you're monetized, start to add that referral call to action. It can be super simple. At the bottom of your articles, just say, hey, if you like reading this and you want to support me as a writer, sign up to Medium to become a full member. This lets you read unlimited articles and you'll also support me as a writer. I think you'll be surprised by how many people want to support you. Step 2 of phase 2. Titles. Mediocre content with a great title will get more views as a rule than amazing content with a mediocre title. Titles really matter. From now on, every time you write a story, I want you to do title research. Come up with at least 3 variations on that title. So for example, how to train your cat to sit might be tips and techniques to get your cat to sit. It doesn't have to be hard to train your cat to sit, or train your cat to sit in 7 simple steps or something like that. And then ask your friends, ask yourself, holler at your landlord. Scott, which one of these would you click on? Ask anyone you can, get some feedback on which titles work best. I would also spend some time every single day analyzing what titles you click on. After all, you're probably pretty representative of a significant portion of your readers. What you like is something they'll like. And you click on things every single day. Maybe Google something or check out the Medium Daily Digest email where they send you emails that they think you'll like. Which one of those do you click on? Why? If you want to get really analytical, make a spreadsheet. Write down the day, the title, and what made you click on it, getting as specific as you can. Step 3, publication research. Zuli, I already did publication research. You did, and we're gonna do it again. First, I want you to look at the publications that you've been publishing in. Which one's doing best for you? Which one's getting you more reads? And now that you have your foot in the door and you've been publishing a little bit, I want you to start thinking about which ones might be better. So, for example, one great publication that I love is called New Writers Welcome. New Writers Welcome is so welcoming to so many new writers, and it's really a fantastic way to start getting your foot in the door, start making some connections, start building that community early on. However, they don't have a niche. So that means that whenever you publish with them, you are sacrificing the opportunity to hit a really highly targeted audience for your work. So if you want to start with this one, that's great. They are a fantastic publication and they've done so much to help other writers grow on the platform. However, you should also start thinking about additional publications to target. So for example, if you enjoy writing about writing, for example, go to medium.com/tag writing and do the same thing. And this time be a little bit more audacious, be a little bolder in your choices. If you see that the startup is looking good, but you're a little intimidated because you don't think you'll be able to get in, try anyway. Nothing is holding you back. Finally, after you've done your title research, after you've done your publication research, I want you to start doing research on angles. I want to give you an example of how I came up with an angle. One article that was doing super well was this incredible article by Christopher Kukowski in The Bald Writer, How I Make Up to $5,000 Each Month Writing About Boring Topics. Everyone reacted really positively to this story, which was fantastic. And I started thinking, how can I use this angle of, something unexpected, maybe something boring, but still has a really high payoff? So as a direct result of this article, I came up with this article, The 3 Boring Income Streams Earn Me $5,000 a Month from Writing. And I never would have come up with that angle if it hadn't been for reading and researching these different tag pages. There's a lot of information to get from the tag pages. The more time you spend there, the more familiar you'll get with growing on Medium and how to start a blog on Medium. So far, we've accomplished phase 1 and phase 2 on how to start a blog in 2022 using Medium. Phase 3 is how you start to take real ownership over your own blog. The one downside starting a blog in 2021 using Medium has is that when you write on Medium, you are writing on Medium. You don't own medium.com. You are subject to their rules. If they changed their rules, or if publications stopped existing, or if any other random thing changed, you would have no right to complain or anything because you're writing on a platform. It's the same as when I make videos on YouTube. I am playing by somebody else's rules. In exchange for playing by those rules, I get access to the existing audience on YouTube. You can get around that using strategies from phase 3 that we're about to get into. Step 1 of phase 3, keep going. That's it, and honestly, that's gonna be the hardest part. On Medium, there are gonna be ups and downs, just as with starting any blog in 2022. You're gonna run into months that you're super busy and you can't write once a week. That's fine. You're gonna run into months that you pour your heart and soul into an article you love and it gets 3 views. That's fine. It's gonna happen. The hardest part of phase 3 to build your own audience is to just keep pushing, keep going, keep working, keep building. Consistency matters so much. Number 2, create your own publication. A lot of advice on how to start your blog in 2022 revolves around creating a newsletter, which is a great way to reach out to people without them having to come to you. I recommend Substack, ConvertKit, but if you don't want to start with those, if you want to just start really basic, creating a publication on Medium will have the same effect. Remember how I said anybody could start a publication on Medium? Anyone includes you. So at this point, you'll probably have noticed you have some stories to share that don't exactly fit into any of the pre-existing publication niches. And that's great because that means that there's an opportunity for your publication. You make the rules here. Do you want it to only have your stories? That's perfectly fine. Do you want it to be a collection of other people's stories, including your own? That's fine too. Start building your publication. This is going to give you a platform that you have a little bit more control over, and plus you can send out letters to people who follow your publication in the form of newsletters, and those are going to go right to their inbox, which is fantastic for you. Other publications will have their own rules, like they'll have a different schedule. Sometimes they won't accept your work, sometimes they won't want you to have a call to action at the bottom of your articles. Having your own publication means that you have a place to play by your own rules as much as you can on Medium. And finally, I know, I said you don't have to worry about SEO, but if you want to know how to start a blog in 2022, it's optional, it's not mandatory, but knowing some basic SEO will be super helpful. I have created a bunch of different tutorials about how to get started with SEO, even one specific to using SEO on Medium, so check those out. I'll link those in the bottom of the video here. Learning a little bit of SEO will be an awesome way to start growing your reach beyond just Medium. You'll start ranking on Google, and you'll start taking advantage of Google traffic as well as internal Medium traffic. The reason SEO matters more for Medium in some ways than other blogging platforms is because Medium has a really high domain authority, and that means that Google trusts stuff on Medium just by default more than Google trusts stuff from like WordPress or Squarespace. If you write how to start a blog in 2022 and you publish that on Medium, that's going to perform better SEO, even if you do nothing else, than publishing the exact same blog on WordPress or Squarespace because of this high domain authority. So a little goes a really long way with SEO on Medium. Like I said, it's optional. You don't need it, but it will help. Once you've accomplished those 3 phases, you have started a blog in 2022. Woo! Amazing! Everyone said they couldn't do it. You faced down all the haters. I'm joking, but seriously, you should be proud of yourself. Writing consistently, even if it's just once a week, is hard. And if you've gotten this far, you should be really proud of yourself for your accomplishments and achievements. I love Medium. It is the best place to write on the internet because it means you get paid. You will get paid to explore and experiment and build your business and test out different niches and try out different publications. You're getting paid to write in a way that it just isn't true with a lot of other places. All you need is a desire to write, and you can start a blog in 2022 on Medium super successfully. Now let's do a quick caveat section. Things to keep in mind. You can make money blogging, but blogging is not a get-rich-quick scheme. A lot of people think you type words into a box, you send it off, you get hundreds of dollars in return. It's not true. Blogging is a hard way to make money writing, but it's possible to make money writing by blogging. Medium is a great, in my opinion, the best place to do that, but it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be a get-rich-quick type of situation, and those don't really, they don't exist, so look elsewhere for those. Number 2. Stay curious. You're gonna fail. I have failed. And the thing that gets me up when I fail is not being like, oh my God, I suck, or oh my God, the Medium algorithm hates me. I try to think why. Keep asking why things go well, why things didn't go well, what performed better, what didn't, which publication is a better fit for you. Keep searching for the answers, and that will help you succeed. 3, stay positive. Like literally any social media platform nowadays, there's a lot of negativity on Medium. It's easy to fall into that. There are a lot of people on Medium who expected to get rich quick, didn't see that other people are making a lot of money, and they're bitter. So they spend a lot of their time and energy kind of making other new writers feel bad for having high hopes or being ambitious about their blog or complaining about Medium as a platform. There's a lot of garbage on Medium. Don't waste your time with it. It's not gonna help you with how to start a blog in 2022. It's not gonna help you be happier. Make sure you look for the positive voices, people who are maybe honestly criticizing Medium. There are things Medium can do better, and you can agree with those or disagree with those, but the people who are constantly complaining, I'd avoid them. They're a drain on your energy, and you need all of it for Titan. 4, expand as you see fit. On Medium, you've got those 2 ways to make money, but on Medium, those are the only 2 ways to make money. Medium is ad-free, which makes it really, really hard to sell stuff on Medium. It's much better to use Medium as a platform from which to expand. So I had my Medium blog for, I think, about a year, maybe a year and a half before I started getting my Squarespace blog up and running, and my YouTube channel and my Instagram and everything else. Medium is a great place to think of as a lead generator or a place to drive traffic from. For example, once you've been blogging for a while, maybe you're a food blogger and you have a cookbook that you want to sell. It will be hard to sell it directly on Medium, but you can use Medium to build a platform, to build a newsletter or drive traffic to a website, and from there you can sell your cookbook. I mean, really, the sky's the limit. Medium is the only place that you get paid to explore all those different options though. Tip number 5. Keep it up. Medium is an awesome place to start a blog in 2022 and beyond. There is no better place to make money by writing about what you love, and that is the hill I will die on. Okay, let's quickly get into the resources section. So if you got this far and you're wondering what to do next, how to get started, the great news for you is I have a bunch of videos and written tutorials that are going to help you get started with how to start a blog in 2022 using Medium. The first place I'd recommend going to is the Medium Writers Academy group on Facebook. It's one of those rare places of genuine positivity and honest criticism of Medium that you can really learn and grow from. Number 2, I have a bunch of videos. I have one about how to write a story on Medium. I have another about how to find the right publication. I have another on how to create your own publication. I have one on how to balance SEO on Medium. And I have a final one on how to use Medium to get freelance writing clients. Last but not least, I also have a publications course that costs $69. Nice. This course will tell you literally everything I know about publications, about how to get accepted to tricky publications, how to write an article that you're going to guarantee is loved by publication readers and by their editors, how to make your own Medium publication succeed, and literally everything else I know about publications. Publications have helped me go big viral a lot of times, and I would love to share that information with you. Okay. Thank you so much for watching this video. Do you have any questions about this? I feel like this has been comprehensive, but if I left anything out, let me know in the comments. I answer every single one. Until we speak again, happy writing. Hello. Why did I not prep an intro for this video? You're watching this video because you want to know how to start a blog in can't get distracted. You'll go through the same process. You'll find what topics audienate, and that's all I can think of.